Hello, Facebook and YouTube friends. I wanted to discuss the pieces of shit that is Charleston Police Department and how the thieves there, that are called police officers, decided to steal my gun holster. And you go, why would they steal a gun holster? That's awfully silly. I don't know either, but they did because it's no longer in my possession. And the last people who had it in their possession were two Charleston police officers. So let's do a little bit of a backstory. I was at the regatta for the first time on Saturday. Wow, it is actually pretty cool there. I can tell you, never been. Most people or most places would have charged for all the cool stuff they had there. Shout out to the actual city. I was there all day. It was hot as shit. Very, very hot. And night. Came back to the hotel room about midnight. Of course, there was no parking, so I had to valet my car. My son is disabled, and I had a long day, so closer to the door, the better. Unfortunately, because I don't learn my lesson the first time, I've had two firearms stolen out of my car. Someone clearly loved them more than myself. So I took my firearm out of my car, especially because I was valeting it, and I was in a place I didn't know about. So, not to scare anybody, I put it in a sheets bag because I had a random sheets bag in my car to then put in my duffel bag to go to the hotel room. Unfortunately, the hotel, the air conditioning kind of sucked in the bedroom. So with that being said, I didn't sleep very good. Woke up a little groggy, had breakfast, still groggy, decided to pack my stuff and leave. Didn't think twice about seeing the sheets bag that had a gun in it. I'm an idiot. I get it. So I called, once I left the hotel room, I ordered my valet. It took about 15 minutes or so, and I got about 5 minutes down the street, so maybe about 20 minutes time, and realized my gun was missing. And I was like, oh, gotta go back and get it. So, and that's what I did. I went to the hotel desk. They gave me a key, where I was basically greeted by the housekeeper who was cleaning another room, who knew what I was looking for, told me that she took it to the manager's office. So went back down, spoke with the manager, who was very pleasant the entire time. Wonderful lady. She stated that it is their hotel policy that they cannot hand the firearm over to me once it's in their possession. They have to call the local police department, which in this case was Charleston, West Virginia, police department. Didn't like it, couldn't argue it, wouldn't have got me anywhere, no reason to be disgruntled. Just waited. The good news was, out of everything, she said she already called them, so they should be there shortly. And they were. Which was awesome. Officer Taylor. Obviously Taylor's a popular last name, so I'll describe Officer Taylor. She's about a 5'5" female, mixed race, black and white, with an okay demeanor. Not the RoboCops that sometimes you get on both genders of police officers. The manager explains she seen my ID, verified it was my room. I am who I am. It was my gun. I explained to Officer Taylor, it's my firearm. I left it in the room accidentally. I apologize. Even though it was my fault. And trying to get my firearm back. She then stated she has to do a thorough investigation. Why? I don't know. Because it's pretty cut and dry what's going on. So I didn't want to go through this thorough investigation whatsoever, so I was hesitant. I told her it was my gun, it was my room, let's move forward with this. She said we can't do that and called what I would assume would be a supervisor, but he never addressed himself as such, nor did I ask for him. I'm also not one of those stupid First Amendment auditors. I just wanted to go home as quickly as possible without having my rights violated, because police officers love to do that from time to time. So this gentleman shows up and we have a little debate. Again, the same tone that I'm speaking to you in. There was no reason to be upset or to be mad, but trying to just keep my rights in check. He tried giving me some bullshit, like, well, what if the gun was stolen? well, are used in a crime? I'm like, do you pull ballistics? Did you run the serial number on the gun already? Because Officer Taylor already was in the back looking at my firearm. And he goes, no. They're not pulling ballistics. And that the gun did not come back as stolen. Okay. I also stated, how do you know how I bought the gun? What if I bought it off a private party? Right? So it wouldn't be registered to me, but it would still be my gun. Right? He didn't like that answer. He just wanted to violate rights that day, as they typically all do. So in the absence of time and having my rights violated, and I did not give consent, but they basically forced me to give them ID. They ran my background and then told me that they would be right back with my firearm. They came back out, said they took pictures of my gun, which I think that was crazy as well. And I got handed a sheets bag with a towel, I assume to stop some of the imprinting of it. And I proceeded to walk to my car, where I got in my car and opened the bag. The bag contained my firearm with the slide open. The round that was in the chamber was now in the bag, and the magazine was not in the gun. They ejected it. However, missing, i.e. stolen by those pieces of shit police officers, was my my trigger guard holster. Now, I've been a firearms instructor for over 10 years. I do not like negligent discharges. And on a personal note, which is lovely to be debated in the firearm community, I love gun safeties. And unfortunately, this gun did not have a gun safety. So, and you can't really carry around without a holster. So noticing my holster was stolen by the police officers, I went back into the hotel to talk to them, which they have already left. And I went and spoke with the manager. The manager, luckily, knew that the trigger guard holster was there. So that was a breath of fresh air. So, again, the chain of command, I left my gun accidentally at the hotel. Then it went to the housekeeper, the manager, and then the police officers. So the first person that left it, me, knew it was there, and the third person knew it was there. So it was stolen by the fourth person using logic. The manager of the hotel was polite and called the police again. And, Blue, protecting themselves because they're pieces of shit like that, stated that I had to call and file my own police report for theft. Don't know why she couldn't do it, or just come there, but they didn't want to come there because they knew what they did, mysteriously. So I called dispatch, waited over 30 minutes, no one came. 2 police officers drove by, not in lights. There was one in one of those little 4x4s and one in a cruiser. So then I proceeded to go to the police station, where I talked to a sergeant because I wanted to file a complaint against the police officers who stole my gun. The sergeant, very nice in demeanor. Can't say didn't like anything about our interaction. Besides, he was clearly protecting his police officers and didn't want to hear anything about them stealing stuff. So I explained the situation. He then comes out of fucking left field and says, well, the housekeeper was foreign, which she was Asian, and didn't speak good English. That has nothing to do with my trigger guard holster being missing. Because, again, the manager took possession of it, who noticed the trigger guard was there. So then he said, well, Officer Taylor wore a body cam, and that they will pull the body cam footage. And I said, what about the other officer who I thought potentially was his supervisor? don't know the gentleman's name. Even the supervisor was not informed of the gentleman who mysteriously showed up. The gentleman looks like Andrew Schultz, the comedian, with the wannabe Super Troopers mustache, but the methed out version of West Virginia methed out version of that. Don't know his name, but he was there. So I don't know where his body cam footage is, and I have a feeling, statistically, men have firearms. He probably stole it for his own gun, because it wasn't in the back, per the manager. So they're going to go look and pull the footage and allegedly get back to me. This was around noon on Sunday, July 5th. It is now currently 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have not heard anything back. Again, not that long, but the officer had to upload her body cam footage. So how long does that really take? But in the absence of time, or in the time that I have this with you guys, I wanted to go over the quick recording that I took from the manager. Because I have two recordings. I have the manager that says it was missing, and I have the sergeant's recording interaction. Because I didn't feel it necessary. Usually I do record a lot of stuff. I didn't think it was going to go down this terrible. So much for Southern hospitality.
Because they say it went from the cleaner's hand to my hands to their hands, and she's not for sure if anything came off of your gun or what it is. I told her that when I saw there was a little black piece on the trigger, that I don't know what that means, but I know that part was there. And she was like, he's going to have to call us. I was like, okay, but he's sitting in my lobby wanting to speak with the officers that came here. He did his gun, and they were like, yeah, he's going to have to call us. I'm so sorry. But they gave me this number.
Do you have access to the cameras? Just to see where it went?
So there we go. So Charleston Police Department stole a $40 gun holster out of spite because I wanted to flex my rights. So what am I going to do about it? I'm going to pull the FOIA requests and from Officer Wannabe Schultz, Meth Schultz, and Officer Taylor. I'm probably going to pull the body cam footage of myself, with the interaction with the sergeant, even though I have it recorded. And then I'm going to upload those interactions to YouTube, and we'll go from there. I'm also going to contact that wonderful West Virginia lawyer that makes those cool First Amendment and Fourth Amendment, all those amendment videos to protection. I think his name is John Bryan. And this is for you, Mr. Bryan. Let's go find the solution, potentially. Because, granted, it's only a $40 holster that they either purposely discarded and or stole, which I have a feeling they stole, the latter. But it's a slippery slope, right? So, Buck Charleston Police Department, and let's go get them. Thank you, and have a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Bye-bye.